Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Aloha, as it were. It's that time again. It's that time again. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn down this music. We are going to transition into the stream. We're streaming now. He streams now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this music in the background. And then I'm gonna unmute my desktop audio. There we go. Excellent. We're in the thick of it. Oh, there it is. Okay. It wasn't even that far away. I don't know what I was even worried about. I was searching for my funky artist glove. But yeah, we're all set. Let's go ahead and back to working on page 6. Didn't finish it last time. Oh, there's something in my nose. I'm gonna need to sneeze, but hope everybody's doing well tonight. I know I'm doing okay. And that's gotta account for something. Yeah. Working on page 6. I'm not sure how I feel about the severe lighting on all these trees, but I mean, I guess it's okay for what it is. I might have to go back and redo some of this in the future. That's okay. Haven't made it easy on myself though. This is all on one layer. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna worry about inking the rest of these panels before I finish up doing the shading on all these trees. That's currently where I am. Yeah. Page 6 of I still don't know how many. I haven't finished the thumbnails. We're getting decently close. But I am up to page 53 in thumbnails, and that is not what I wanted. That's not what there we go. So it's where we are as of now. So let's go ahead and get right back into this. It is September the 23rd. That's important. There was something important. Oh yeah, we're heading into October very soon. And I was wondering if I shouldn't try and do like an Inktober type thing. That could be fun. Inktober is something I usually pass on every year just because it's a heck of a lot of work. And I feel like I can never really commit to that type of thing because I'm always busy with other things such as, oh, I don't know, a comic or something. But, I mean, we'll see how it goes because I guess ideally what I would want to do for an Inktober, I said it again, for an Inktober type of thing, I think what I would want to do is like I don't know, just do like a quick black and white drawing at the start of a stream and then work on the comic afterwards, but it's like I only really stream for 3 hours at a time, so I haven't really thought long and hard about the logistics of that. That's something that might bite me in the rear if I try to do that. But it could be good. It could be good for exposure, generally. People like... Well, actually, you know, I can't really say that with any confidence, now that I really think about it. Because on one hand, it's like, yeah, people like Inktober, but, like, it's one of those trends that's been around for so long, I don't really know if that's drawing viewers or anything to that effect. So, I'll keep it in mind as a potential avenue, but now that I really think about it, I don't know if that's gonna come into play. Hello, Startoons. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Just working on McCormick, as is. Okay, this is a little too loud and it's a little too distracting. Of course, my immediate instinct is to turn it back up. A little too loud, a little too distracting. But yes, working on my concept one shot here. Been pretty alright. Always happy and positive, you know it. You know it. That's me. The joke there is that it's not me at all, but I'm trying today. We're trying to keep an upbeat, positive attitude today. There's also, I like your art style. It reminds me of the shows from Disney, like Big City Greens. Huh. I can't say I've ever seen Big City Greens. I don't really watch a whole lot of Disney, but I will take that as a compliment. So, thank you. Appreciate you for stopping in to see the stream tonight. Let's see here. I always get messed up when I do braids. It's like there's a couple different ways to do them, and there's a couple different ways to illustrate them simplistically, and then I feel like I always mess it up somehow. But I mean, ultimately it's not the biggest deal if I do, because nobody's gonna be looking this closely. Some form of anime. Well, yeah, a lot of my art style is inspired by Japanese comic books, so that's to be expected. So I kind of do something like this. I had something in mind for where I was going with this, and now I can't visualize it. Maybe it was more like that? I don't know, I'm just kind of waffling about here. Yeah, like if I had to give like a good source of inspiration for my art style, I think I got like a lot of things from Trigun. Like if you've ever seen or read Trigun, there's a bit of that inspiration there. Trying to think of others. I guess JJK, I guess Jujutsu Kaisen kind of falls into that category. I don't know. The inspirations are all over the place. It's kind of a mix of a few different things. If I really thought about it, I could give you probably a more interesting and in-depth answer. Alright, I'm not liking how this is coming out. Where am I going wrong here? Maybe if I check... So that's how I drew them there. And I'm just trying to draw them Just trying to draw them from the back, so... But yeah, like... I don't know, there's a lot of different inspirations going on here. And I can never... Honestly, I can never really remember. At least not off the top of my head. But yeah, Trigon's definitely a strong inspiration. Let's see, maybe if I just do the shape of it first. If I do this, like the basic shape here, kind of get an idea of what I was trying to do earlier. And then I can get away with kind of obscuring the connections here. I don't know if that's gonna work so well. This would just look kind of weird in general. I'll watch my lines here. Sure, I'm applying thickness to right where it belongs. Get those. Apply those shadows. Apply that depth. I don't know, it's still kind of looking weird. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. But I don't know, some of this stuff is just trial and error, so... It's not gonna look perfect 100% of the time, and I just have to get okay. I just have to be okay with that being the case. Yeah, okay, well, I mean, as funny as it is having pretzel squiggles on the back of her head, I don't think this is how I want to play it. But yeah, Inktober. I don't know if I want to do anything specific for Inktober. Because on one hand, it can be kind of like a cool thing. I could have, like, maybe some audience input. But I don't know. You should try to draw old classics art styles like Steamboat Willie or Popeye. Huh. I mean, the older simplistic style, cartoony styles are cool and all. I don't know if I would personally lean into stuff like that. Also, are you streaming on Twitch? Nope, just YouTube. YouTube's kind of my comfort zone, so that's where I spend most of my time. Ah, jeez. Okay. I really gotta think. Well, maybe if I just draw the ponytail here. Then it won't be so bad. I can kind of connect them up later. Sometimes they stream on Twitch. Yeah. There's a lot of people who do like dual streaming on here. They'll do like they'll stream to here, YouTube, and then they'll also stream to Twitch. But to do that, I mean, you need like a certain plugin that I don't have, and also I would need to care enough to want to stream on Twitch, which is not the case currently. This kind of looks weird. So let's try and make it look a little more natural. That's what we're going for, a little more natural. Okay, that'll do. Just, trying to make this line, or these lines here, not look so weak, I guess. But yeah. I guess the kind of braid I'm going for it's more like this. Maybe? I don't know, that still looks wrong. The braids always hurt my brain a little bit. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to get the right thickness, almost. So let's see. Kind of goes up here. This is really something I should have figured out in the sketch layer, but as you can see, I kind of just waffled it. That is one heck of a saxophone right there. Alright, well, okay. So I give up. I'm just gonna grab my phone and we're gonna get a picture of what I'm gonna do. Okay. Alright. We're gonna get a picture. What I'm trying to do, and we're going to use that as my reference here. Okay. Alright, that kind of gives me what I'm looking for, so let's try this. So that dead ends into next one. Can you tell I've never braided hair before? Although I imagine if you've braided hair before, that doesn't necessarily translate into you being able to draw it. But what do I know? So kind of what I'm getting is loops like that. Over and over again. I need to probably shore this up a bit. And then do it over here again. Cool. That's gonna dead end right into there. Okay, I'm seeing the vision now. And sometimes all it takes is just a little reference. You get what you're looking for. That does beg the question if I should correct what I did earlier here. That's gonna be a probably, but we will burn that bridge when we cross it. Preferably after we've crossed it, but, you know, I'm liable to make mistakes. Okay. Earlier today, and as you all are well, as anyone who watches these streams is well acquainted with, big fan of tabletop RPGs. Sing that one till the day I die. Cows come home, whichever the phrase is. I don't actually remember the saying. I just remember that at one point I've said the saying, and now it is probably incorrectly, and now it's forever ingrained in my mind that way. But I've done more thinking, I've done more talking. Boy, do we know how much I love to do talking. And what I've come to is this cool idea for like a hacking mechanic in a tabletop game. And I don't really know, I haven't played a whole lot of tabletop games that involve, like, hacking mechanics. I was having this conversation earlier. Well, it was less of me having the conversation and more like I was looking in on a conversation, and then I gave my 2 cents on it. But, basically, one of the guys in a server I'm in is trying to make, I guess, kind of like a cyberpunk adjacent system. And I've never played cyberpunk, but in cyberpunk there's this I guess their version of hacking in cyberpunk is called net running. So basically what net running is hacking like an external system and then taking control of the system. But like, because it's cyberpunk, you know, the cybernetics are built in, so these people are basically hacking things with their minds, meaning problems that can arise while hacking can, like, directly affect someone's psyche, as opposed to, you know, try to hack somebody on a computer, and if it goes wrong, like, obviously you don't incur any negative effects physically from that, at least not cognitively, right? I lost the plot on this. I think I lost the plot on this a little bit. But yeah, so they were talking about mechanics, and they were thinking, like, okay, well, maybe I want to do this as, like, a mini-game type thing. And, I mean, I was reading that, and nobody had any real good ideas for a mini-game like a hacking minigame. I think minigames in tabletop RPGs aren't like a great idea. Mainly because you run the risk of just slowing down the pace of the game. Never really for a good reason either. Because it'll be just one person hacking. One person doing the hacking, so only one person participates in this minigame. And now you've got like 2 or 3 other players, maybe even more, depending on the number of players you have in your campaign, just sitting around doing nothing, just twiddling their thumbs. That's not always a whole lot of fun. I mean, obviously, there are some types of games where people go in and that's the expectation, that they're, you know, they're not going to be having fun 100% of the time. And they're okay with that. And in games like that, if you're gonna have a mini game, sure, that's probably a good way to swing it, is like, okay, well, this is this character's time to shine. You guys get to sit back and this plays out on its own. You know, nothing against that. If that's your cup of tea, you know, that's your cup of tea. I'm not gonna tell you can't do it like that, or that you shouldn't do it like that. But personally, I don't like slowing down the flow of the game. When a character wants to do something that, even if that something realistically takes a long time, I want them to be able to, I want them to say that they're doing it, to I guess immediately sort of see some kind of results. You know, so get some kind of feedback for that decision, and then keep moving forward on that. I think that's a good way to keep players engaged if things are, you know, moving at a good brisk pace. A mini game where, you know, the players aren't really doing anything, that's, you know, that doesn't facilitate the type of play I'm going for too well. And you never, like, if you've got good momentum built up in a campaign, you never want that momentum. You want to reduce the amount of things that slow that momentum as much as possible. So I didn't think the hacking minigame was a good idea. I thought instead the way I would run it, and this is, again, I've never played this type of game, so I didn't know how I would run it until, you know, I really thought about it. But upon thinking about it, it occurred to me... Uh-oh. Okay, I see where I went wrong here. It occurred to me that, like, what I would just set it up so that, you know, in order to hack something, there was... You would have, I guess, like a target number, right? And then that target number, you know, would, if you met or beat that target number, that would be your success for hacking, you know, standard RPG stuff. But then I would have the target number be somewhere between 1 and 6. And then I would have you, as the player, roll a pool of dice as opposed to a singular check. And I think this is a good idea, because then you can have multiple successes, and based on the amount of successes you have, you get to control, you know, you get to quote-unquote hack as many items as you have successes. So target number is 4 and up. You have to meet it or beat it in order to successfully hack something. You throw let's say 4d6, and you get 2 dice that are, 2 dice that beat. You get 2 successes, a 5 and a 6, let's say. Now, 2 successes means you get 2 items from whatever you are hacking, to control, whether that's like information because you're hacking a computer, or if you're hacking an entire security system, let's say, you get like security cameras and door locks, but not motion sensors and alarms. Or maybe the player gets to choose what it is they hack successfully. And that way they can make more tactical decisions. They can make more tactical decisions in hacking. But basically what this does is, instead of like this little hacking minigame that goes on, what you get is very quick resolution. I want to hack this thing. Okay, roll the dice. Okay, I got this many successes, so I hack this and this. Then it, play continues, but now, the hacker character gets to continue engaging in play, because the hacker player now has all these different things that they can control to aid their fellow party members. And meanwhile, the party members never, they still get to play, because while the hacking is going on, they're still doing stuff, and they're even interacting with and benefiting from what's being hacked. So I thought of that one kind of on the fly, and I was pretty happy with that. I was actually kind of interested to see, because I've never played Cyberpunk, I've never played Shadowrun, I don't know much about those hacking systems. So I was thinking, like, okay, well, like, how do those other games do it? I'd be interested to see at some point and learn how other systems handle it, and whether or not they were, they do it the same way. And there's a bunch of interesting things you can do with it from there. At least the system I concocted, because it's like, okay, well, now you've got like a counter force. And that could be interesting, because now, the counter force has control of all the other things, and they're trying to use those other things to try and stop, the hacker character trying to shut that down. So the hacker character has to kind of contend with that. Maybe they'll try and do sort of like a Trojan, like they let the hacker character into the system, and then they implant in the hacker character, or attempt to implant in the hacker character, sort of this Trojan virus that, so the hacking job backfires on them or something. So stuff like that, I could see it going. I could see you adding a lot of interesting mechanical depth and new and inventive obstacles to that system. And I'd be curious to see how the big Cyberpunk tabletop systems handle that kind of stuff, because it's not something I ever thought about before. But just with a quick mental exercise, I thought I came across something pretty nifty. And if it's something that's already, people have already sort of figured out, then, obviously I'm no genius. It's maybe nobody uses the system I came up with because it sounds cool on paper, but in actual play it's a nightmare or something. But I don't know, just an interesting little thought I had today. I've been thinking a lot more about systems and mechanics and that kind of stuff in tabletop. Mainly because I'm running a game in a system I'm familiar with, but just, you know, had to kind of justify to myself again why I liked this system and why I wanted to teach it to a new group of players. And I think I've been mulling around with the idea for a while, but I think I kind of want to do like a video. So I've had a campaign going for a while now. It's been mentioned on stream a couple times as well, especially on Saturday's stream, which is actually what got me thinking about it, was thinking about the conversation we were having on Saturday, particularly about the Kane campaign. And I was, you know, it's kind of a fascinating topic to me, because obviously this is something I'm passionate about, and I like talking about it. So I was thinking maybe, like, if I just did a video on it. So I think that could be kind of cool. That might be in the works coming up. We'll see. Videos take a long time to make, and Lord knows I don't really have the talent for it, so. But I think it would be kind of a cool idea to just try and throw something together, experiment, put my thoughts out there. The topic really was, I guess, these sort of systems, these kind of novelty systems that people will make. They'll put them together, and they're designed to do, you know, very specific stuff. Yeah, and they're, you know, they're full of these arbitrary mechanics that are designed to facilitate the feeling of whatever, you know, setting and genre they're trying to emulate. So I guess an example of a novelty system is something, I mean, you could even say to some extent Dungeons and Dragons, because it has its own setting, and it only really does, it's only really built around, like, that sort of standard fantasy setting. Like, it's got its own proprietary setting, Dungeons and Dragons, but it's really built around fantasy, and it doesn't really do anything other than fantasy. Like, if you tried to run a D&D campaign using Dungeons and Dragons as a system in, like, a, you know, modern New York, it's like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of missing information, and, you know, you're gonna have to retool some mechanics. You might even have to make some new mechanics, you know. Like, think about the skills. Like, how many of those skills are really gonna come in handy in a campaign like that? So there's, like, a whole mess of things that you would have to do in order to get a system like D&D to work in a setting that isn't some brand of, I guess, typical fantasy fare. And I don't really think there's anything wrong with that, per se. I guess a better example would be Lancer, which is like a setting designed around playing in big honkin' mechs and fighting and destroying other big honkin' mechs. These systems are designed with, like, the setting and the, you know, the basic premise, and, you know, a genre in mind, and even, like, a style of play in most cases. Like, they're designed with all of this in mind. You know, Call of Cthulhu has, like, its sanity mechanic, which is designed to emulate the common theme in the books, where the characters like lose their mind and start to go insane. So yeah, like a lot of those systems are designed specifically for with a style of play in mind, maybe a setting, and definitely like a genre. And the game I've been playing with one of my groups is called Kane. I think we decided at least I decided very early on, like, as interesting as the setting appears to be, the truth of the matter is I don't like it very much. And I think the reason why I don't like it very much is because when the designers put together these systems, they are really thinking about how they want players to play the game. And so they have to craft their mechanics around rewarding the styles of play they want, and discouraging the styles of play they don't want. And so you get a lot of these systems that have like these incentives built in, which I honestly, taken to its logical conclusion, that's every system. Every game is just a series of incentives to get people to play, to play by the rules, effectively. So maybe that's not like the strongest point that I'm trying to make, but with these novelty systems, what I'm seeing a lot of is just everything is litigated, everything's got a ruling on it. There's not really any room to breathe. Obviously there's going to be times where something is just not in the rules, but play is, like, they really do attempt to dictate play, a certain type of play. Hi, Leo. How long have you been there?
Literally right this second.
Oh, okay. Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't get the Discord notification when people join.
Yeah.
How's it going? How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
Except for, oh boy, do I have more door salesman lore.
Uh-oh.
Company did a company thing.
Yeah, as they do.
And then they don't want to pay us.
Why don't they want to pay you?
Because they fucked up their system and paid a bunch of people that had already quit.
Oh.
And suddenly that's our fault.
Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. I mean, they are gonna pay you though, right?
Fuck, like, if I know.
Your contract.
They said, nah, we're gonna pay you 30 days later. Instead of paying me on the 30, like they should.
That is kind of insane.
Yeah.
There's gotta be, like, legal protections against that, right? Surely, even in Venezuela. Because you signed a contract. That's gotta mean
Um,
something, right?
there are them. I don't think it. I don't think it is a slam dunk in Venezuela. It could happen. It could not. But yeah, no, the entire sales force is absolutely pissed the fuck up because people live paycheck to paycheck here, dude.
Yeah. I mean, even barring that, it's a contract. Like,
It is.
you are beholden to the terms of the contract.
They change the terms because they're stupid.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of signing the contract. It's saying, okay, well, I mean, unless it says in the contract that the employer can change the terms at will, which I doubt.
Which I didn't read anything about that,
Oh, okay,
no.
well. Hmm.
I actually read the thing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's so crazy. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, I got paid half, so at least, at
Yeah.
least I got something out of it. But,
But not what you were contracted to get out
but
of it.
fuck, man. I got sunburned for half of nothing.
Yeah, that is insane.
But otherwise, I'm just physically. I'm doing good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it didn't obliterate you. Shit like that, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd be I don't know if I how happy I'd be about that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like that's the kind of shit that would just I wouldn't show up to anything for a while. Like that would knock me off the horse, honestly.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, big question, my guy. What you drawing?
Oh, same old, same old. Still working on the comic. Still working on the same page from last stream. Wouldn't you believe it?
Oh, really? The
Oh
one with the
yeah.
apples and stuff?
Yerp.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a big montage page. Of course, I didn't think it would be that big, but it is. It has surprised me in ways I did not think possible.
Mm-hmm.
But
I suppose it is to be expected that shit just happens.
yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, it it's for the better. Like a creative project is it's a living, breathing thing. I don't know. I have a funny accent. Um, and they they do tend to come out way different than what was planned at the start.
True. That is some age-old Leo wisdom right there. You can tell this
Yeah.
guy's been around the block.
I mean, you know, I already have one foot in the grave. I'm 25 years old. Like, man,
Uh, So before you joined, I was kind of talking to myself. How do you feel, Leo, about novelty tabletop RPG systems? I'm talking like your Call of Cthulhu's, your Vampire the Masquerades. I guess Cyberpunk would be one of them. Lancer, those kinds of games.
Just to define them, you're talking about those systems in which the setting itself is so intricately like tied to the mechanics that what are you doing if you're making a homebrew setting for the campaign?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of it goes beyond setting too, I would say. Stuff like shit, the words are escaping me. So stuff like genre and I guess style of play even would fall into this category.
I do enjoy novelty TTRPGs, mainly because they're good side game material, but also they do a lot of the legwork of giving you an idea of what to run, how to run, and where to run a game. Basically giving you...
Okay.
But it's not as railroady as a like
as railroady as a what? You kind of cut out there, Mr. Sir.
adventure mod.
Oh, adventure module.
Did I die? Yeah, adventure modules are like super railroady, but
gotcha,
like the lore and tips that say Call of Cthulhu is going to give you are gonna allow for more broad and free-form games than just the alternative.
Yeah. So that was all to butter you up for how I feel about them. Right.
They fucking
Grease in the
suck.
wheels.
Leo, you are absolutely like completely insane. How dare you even come up with something like that?
True and real and true. Yeah, I'm not. I think over time, I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm just not a fan. And I mean, I guess like it depends from system to system. Obviously, there's some novelty systems. I'd give Lancer as an example. But I can't really, like, it's been so long since I've read the rules for Lancer that I don't know how well it holds up in my mind. But I remember the mechanics to Lancer being very interesting, and that one's like the big mech fight one. That one's kind of designed around big old mech fights and whatnot. It's a very chunky system too. A lot of crunch there. But even then, it's like, okay, you have this system, and it does the one thing really well. But if you're in a group And I think I tend to gravitate towards these groups. If you're in a group that likes to play different games, you know, you'll do one campaign in one genre, and then you'll do another campaign in like a different setting and genre. You gravitate towards different things, then the novelty systems suck, because you're constantly having to learn a new set of rules. You're constantly grappling with mechanics that you don't even know if you like or not. Onboarding is a huge deal. Most of these systems don't allow you to build characters from a concept. They hold your hand to make characters that would fit in the setting, but only characters that fit in the setting. You can't, like, a lot of it's where, like, any extra character stuff is divorced from the system. The mechanics don't really allow you to roll. Like, for example, in Lancer, you're a pilot, you're a mech pilot, and what kind of mech pilot you are comes down to mechanically, like, are you the kind of mech pilot that, you know, likes to hop in the lightweight scouting machines that, you know, they can't take a lot of fire, but they can, you know, they can get in there very quickly, deal a little bit of damage, and then get back out and be a general nuisance, while the bigger machines engage the opponent and bring it down. That kind of thing. It doesn't tell you, like, okay, but my pilot is also like a schizophrenic maniac. There's no there's no mechanics that facilitate that. So if you wanted to do something wild, it would just be like, okay, I'm role playing without the rule set, without the mechanics in tow. So like between, and then there's also, like, a lot of the times the systems kind of, they do the class thing, like D&D or Pathfinder, where they set you down a determined, a predetermined road based on, I guess, what class you choose. They're not always called classes. They're, you know, but in essence, they are effectively classes. And it's like, yeah, I want to be the lightweight, you know, Spitfire scouting mech pilot, and then I can only take I can only build my character with the, I guess,
within the confines of the archetype.
Pretty much, yeah. With the items specific to that class, within the confines of the archetype is a really good way to put it.
Let me explain it to you. There are some games in which you can create a character, and there are some other games in which you choose a character from a character select screen, like if it was an action game or a fighting game, right?
Yeah.
D&D 5e is really like that because the classes are really inflexible. They, like, you don't worry about it, you just level up, get your stuff, boom. Maybe if you're a spellcaster, you can choose which spells you can take here and there and some other options here. But there's, like, you're gonna be doing, like, the same things mostly.
Yeah. And a lot of it comes down to, I think, like, a very narrow-minded sense of design. Because if you look at a game like Fallout, and it is really sad that Fallout has never gotten, like, a good tabletop RPG. If you look at a game like Fallout, there aren't classes, there's just skills, and then there are perks. And the perks the skills, ultimately, they're like these very specific, I guess, trained abilities. But then the perks they add this extra dimension of character, but the skills and the perks aren't tied, like, they're not tied to a class. At worst, they're tied to another perk that you have to get, or a skill that you have to get a certain score in before you can take the perk. So while the mechanics still reinforce the setting and the genre of the game that you are playing, the creation of your character is not restrictive at all. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, maybe it's not that I dislike the novelty systems on principle. It's that every novelty system I play, they force you down this class-based rabbit hole. I guess Call of Cthulhu in that sense is actually really good, is a good example. That one's very skill-based. That one lets you kind of create a character from concept, while also ensuring that the mechanics for the game keep you within the confines of that setting and genre.
But something like Cyberpunk, you have to pick a class.
Yeah, something like Cyberpunk, you can't just pick and choose. I want this ability from the Netrunner's arsenal, and this ability from... I only know the Netrunner from Cyberpunk. I don't actually know any of the other classes, but I want this ability from this other class.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And they don't balance around you being able to do that. So, like, your choice is, like, either go along with it or jailbreak the system. But at that point, it's like, okay, why not just play a universal setting, genre, agnostic system, and then just build, like, if you're going to be rebalancing everything anyway, just build all the abilities that you want in the
Yeah, because the only way to like brute force it and say a class-based system would be if the system allows for multi-classing, but that's again that.
Well, even then there are restrictions, right? Because, like, if something's gated behind a certain level and even if you're multi-classing and you want an ability from a level 5 rogue while still having an ability from your level 3 ability from a paladin, you have to be at least level 8, and that's like a long, it's a long road ahead, and you're not gonna get like a character you want to play immediately. You have to spend all this time playing a character that you like have no interest in, because maybe you said, okay, well, my character has this ability because of this reason, and it could be like a motivational reason, it could be a personality reason, any of that. All of a sudden, in order to play the actual character that you want, you have to wait all that time to get to that level. So, like, you really do have to just jailbreak the system, where you take all of the class features in the system and you basically redefine them as perks, like Fallout perks, Fallout styled perks, and then have like find a way to price them in a way that players can still take them at the beginning, but it's rebalanced so like a player doesn't have 5 level 5 abilities from the outset, while other characters, well, maybe you wouldn't even have to rebalance them. Maybe the balance thing is boring and dumb, and characters should be crazy overpowered from the outset because that's just more fun. I'm just thinking out loud here. I haven't really thought this one all the way through. But the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of these novelty systems that I see kind of just make me want to play like a more generic universal system. Because I get caught up in wanting to do something with a system and then finding out that I can't because it's not actually built for that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Oh, he left. Chat, he left. He couldn't take the heat. Damn it. I was just talking to myself that entire time. No, I hope... Huh, I hope his, like, PC didn't explode or anything. He went completely offline. But yeah, that's kind of where I am on the whole...
Hello, hello?
Hey, welcome back. How much of that did you catch before you disconnected?
I was talking by myself for about 5 minutes and then my screen blue screened.
Oh, that is tragic.
So I didn't catch fuck and all of that.
Fuck.
Also, guest starring whoever's like doing motorcycle revving.
Well, listen. I like you. I like having you around enough where I can tolerate the motorcycle revving. He gets to be the special guest star.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I just had like a very long-winded conversation with myself before I realized you were actually gone. But,
Oh my god, besties, we were doing the same thing.
yeah, we were basically doing the same thing. The only difference is mine was justified because I'm streaming.
Nonsense.
You're just talking to a blue screen.
Yeah.
But, I guess my point was, you're gonna spend all that time rebuilding somebody else's system. Because it, you know, you're trying to turn all those, I guess, class features into Fallout style perks so that anybody can take any kind of feature, not be constrained by like classes and whatnot. You might as well just play like a universal system that allows you to build abilities from the ground up. So that's kind of why I got my GURPS itch.
Yeah, but people that don't know what they're doing want the starter kit. I think you could do classes, but have the classes be mainly like starting equipment. How in Dark Souls you can start as a thief, and that doesn't really like
Yeah.
shoehorn you into dex. It just gives you an early advantage on dexed weapons and a dagger for backstabs. But it doesn't. If you want to go cleric after that, like no one's stopping you.
Sure, but
Well,
at that
cleric,
point we're not.
high faith. I mean.
Yeah, at that point we're not talking about classes in the, I guess in the D&D sense. We're talking about backgrounds. So it's kind of like a different thing altogether. That I'm cool with. Like if you wanted to give a player effectively a little starting jumping off point, and then they still get to decide, you know, what abilities they take, what, you know, how that character progresses. Maybe it's even like a natural progression that occurs through play, and so as the story develops, the players develop their characters in a way that kind of reflects how the narrative is playing out.
Mm-hmm.
But most of these systems that I'm talking about don't facilitate this at all.
Yeah, but counterpoint. Going for the novelty system when everyone's already committed to doing the bit of like the doing I don't know Vampire the Masquerade, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to go with the novelty system because the alternative is just the DM is going to be spending too much time in the universal system figuring out how to do vampire stuff while you scour around for vampire-esque abilities that you can add to your character. And then,
Sure.
oh, turns out there's not a lot of GURP support for vampires, which this is a hypothetical. I know that GURPS has everything. Um, and then the DEM has to be writing a bunch of shit mechanically wise instead of going to the meat and potatoes, which would be the creative side of the game,
Well,
the
and
story and the characters.
here's the thing with that. You're correct if the whole reason you're doing, if like you have another system that you regularly play, and so this is like maybe your group only does fantasy, and one day they're like, okay, well, we want to kind of do vampires, right? I guess the whole group decides they want to do vampires one day. And, it'll be like a brief campaign, and it will be like pretty low stakes, and it's not going to be anything super long-winded or crazy. So, if you're, if that's the case, then absolutely, yeah, you're going to want to go with a system that has all of that groundwork done for you already. Even if you're not familiar with it, because you can just learn it and all that stuff is ready for you. The advantage
it's TTRPG Friends Lab.
Yeah. What a terrible way to put that. Thank you, Leo.
But you immediately
Understood.
understood.
Yes, and I hate myself for it. No, but if you've got a group where you're jumping around from setting to setting, genre to genre, maybe you've done a 2-month long game and like as a space opera, and now you want to do like, I don't know, you want to play Berserk. You want to play Berserk, the tabletop RPG. Are you gonna want to be bouncing around all these different all these different, I guess, novelty systems that, sure, they're designed around this, these concepts, but you're trying to do like a game that fits within the genre conventions, that's like narratively interesting to some degree, and all that time you're grappling with the rules. Half of your players are like, this sucks, I really liked the idea of the genre or the setting, but the mechanics in this novelty system are dog shit and they make me not want to play anymore. And then like the other half of your players are like, they're misinterpreting rules. They're thinking something works one way because that's how it worked in a previous system you played in, but actually it works the other way, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's counterintuitive, and that's what's getting them confused. I think ultimately, something like GURPS or Hero or any other Fate, I guess. Any other generic system that you can play, you know, any genre, any setting, any style of play in. Like, yeah, there's a lot there. Maybe it doesn't facilitate every single genre under the sun very well. But at the end of the day, if you learn the rules for that, and your players know the rules for that, then, like, theoretically, you don't have to switch systems in order to switch genres.
I mean, if you're stubborn
And
enough, you don't
settings.
even have to stop playing D&D 5e to play other genres.
Well, unless you've homebrewed all of the dungeons and the dragons out of Dungeons and Dragons to make it a universal system.
You'd be surprised how many people just Skyrim the ever-loving shit out of 5e.
I guess, but at that point you have your own universal system, and so the same thing applies, right? And you're jumping from genre and setting to genre and setting, but you never have to touch any of those novelty systems, because you've got your own jailbroken version of D&D that's like homebrewed to high hell, not even recognizable anymore. You're probably calling it something else at that point. Maybe even writing a book on it. Like at that point, you know, you just slap a few, like the prep would be you slap a few mechanics together that are like setting specific or genre specific. And because they're already based off of the game you and your players have been playing, or the system that you and your players have been playing for so long, that it's a natural progression of things. Nobody's left in the dark. The transition is seamless. And even better yet, you don't even have to guide your players on how to make characters half the time. They already know the system as well as you do.
That may be true, yeah.
So, I don't know. This is all purely hypothetical. I haven't cultivated any group on any system long enough to know, like, if that's really how it, like, could work. But I think that's the main appeal that universal systems offer.
It is unreasonable. I think it is unreasonable for the main GM to be running whatever you're running, say Lamentations of the Flame Princess or whatever the hell. And then on top of that, learn a novelty system for like the off weeks. But it's a good thing for the players that want to like get into DMing to try something like that. At least in my experience.
Yeah. For sure. I don't know. It's hard to get people on board with a universal system in the first place, because, I mean, realistically, none of them are that difficult to learn. All you have to do is want to. But that's where the problem stems from mostly, is that, like, people don't want to learn a new system. That's why they stick with games like D&D. For so long, and it's like, okay,
I mean,
but we're only playing one genre.
The only problem I find with universal systems is the my guy, where's the flavor?
What do you mean, where's the flavor?
it's all written to apply into multiple different situations, and I'm not getting the context of like where would any of this like be applied, or like how it develops in the world. And then also, why is my friend a gnome that has the testicle tuck talent?
I'm confused. I don't know how you think universal systems work, but it's like all those options are there.
I read GURPS and I didn't see how it did not sell me on this ability. I'm gonna build a character all around it, and this is how they're gonna look. This is how they are going to like fit in the world, because everything's just too broadly applicable.
But that makes it easier to fit into the world because you flavor it however you need to for it to make sense within the setting. Like I'm having trouble understanding what the crux of the issue for you here is. Like, I don't know about the testicle tuck thing. I'm sure that
That's
comes
filtered,
in
don't worry about
handy
it.
for whoever takes the hermaphrodite or whatever it is advantage.
Yeah, that's mainly that. Sorry, I had to bring it up because Philbert was talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, well, okay, but that's the thing. I mean, the system is designed to allow you to build any type of ability for any type of game, you know, genre, setting, whatever. All you have to do is, you know, take something that is vaguely similar to the idea you have in your head and then modify it until it is exactly the idea in your head. And GURPS provides the tools to do that. I mean, it might not be readily apparent. It certainly wasn't when I first read the rulebook. But it certainly helps to have somebody who knows the system in and out sort of walk you through it.
Yeah.
But the idea is you come up with a concept and then you work out how that concept would work mechanically within the universal mechanics of the game, and then you build it out, you price it out, you make sure you can afford it, and then once it's all bought, that's your character, and your character functions how you would imagine it would from the concept. Like, if I wanted to play a gunslinger in a western whose whole deal was he ricochets his bullets off of whatever surface he can, and that's how he wins his gunfights. You can build that in GURPS. You build the mechanic as well as the character.
Okay.
But yeah, when you said where's the flavor, I just imagined like you were looking for flavor text on an ability or something and weren't finding it. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you would. I guess I don't know. Maybe maybe it stems from a reliance on the novelty systems. Because like you have to be able to abstract your idea of an ability out far enough that you can build it in GURPS. So
And
if it's
it
not,
seems that you also need to have mechanical knowledge of GURPS to even do that in the first place. I don't really understand how things work until I start playing the game.
I mean, realistically, the only mechanics you really need to know are the ones that are built into your character before you even get to stuff like advantages. So, for instance, how health and fatigue works, um, how uh, how movement works, how damage works, how rolling skill checks works. All the stuff you would hopefully know before going into any kind of game. But I don't know. You've never played GURPS before. I guess that could
like
act as a barrier.
like I tried, and reading the abilities just gave me a headache.
Well, that's when you tell the GM, here's my idea for the character, you make him. The GM is almost always going to say, yes, I will absolutely do that for you, because building characters in GURPS is a lot of fun. I don't know of anybody who swears up and down by GURPS who doesn't enjoy the character creation aspect the most. But I think that's just kind of a universal thing. Like, I imagine the people who really like D&D really like building characters in D&D, right?
It's a fair assumption.
Yeah. Sorry if that came off as me calling you stupid or something. Not my intention. I just get kind of confused sometimes when...
I think you're grabbing at, like, things that are not there. I was simply just checking my Discord while you were talking. And then you kind of stopped talking, but I was still checking my Discord.
No, I mean, looking back on what I said, it kind of came off as condescending, and I wanted to let you know that I'm not calling you retarded.
I think I'm a big enough boy to understand that I personally think that there's a place for novelty systems, because I personally like them. And while I do acknowledge your GURPS being like the square hole of everything regarding tabletop RPGs, I need, say, I've yet to experience a good GURPS experience. And I'm not saying that I've had a negative GURPS experience, I'm saying that I haven't had a positive. It was net neutral. You get it?
Yeah. I mean, I think my biggest struggle has been, even now, my biggest struggle with getting people to play GURPS is saying, okay, just tell me what you want your character to be. Like, give me a concept, and I'll do all the work. You know, I'll walk you through it. I'll show you how it's done. You know, it won't even take that long. It'll take maybe an hour at most. You know, I tell people that, and then I don't get a character concept back. They either put it off and then until they like never respond ever, or they do what Phil does and they just dive right in and attempt to do it themselves. And I just kind of like, I'm there and I'm trying to give as much support as I can and answer as many questions as I can. But it's like trying to go in and make a GURPS character before you've grasped the concept of, you know, what it means to make a character from an abstract idea in your head, as opposed to picking out menu items. I think that's just like a massive hurdle that I haven't found out how to get people over.
So you talk to people about GURPS, and people wanna find out what it's all about and read a little bit about it to, well, find something interesting and then build a character around it. But turns out that's a bad idea because
Well, yeah, that's not
too much reading, and you have to have the PhD in GURP.
Yes. Yes, you need the GURPS
Yeah.
PhD. It's very important.
I think that's where you're losing people.
It's always strange because it's like, okay, I'll say, here's the setting, all right. Here the you know the genre that the setting is in. Let the genre conventions take you away. You know, come up with a character as if you were writing a story in this setting, and the character that you are going to make is your main character. What would that character look like? What would that character be able to do? You know, what's the personality? You know, some personal taste stuff. You know, what do they think about certain elements within the setting? I mean, obviously you don't have to go that deep. All you really need is like, okay, my character in this fantasy dungeon crawler is a guy with a very big sword, and maybe he drinks too much, but he's really good at swinging the sword. So good, in fact, that when he swings the sword, it sends like a shock wave that like knocks his foes back, regardless of whether or not he hits them. It's like, okay, yeah, you don't need to know any of GURPS mechanics in order to come up with that character concept, but once you do have that character concept, then you can build it in GURPS. You can ask me to build it in GURPS. I will show you how to build it in GURPS. I will take you step by step. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, I just can't, I can't just say that to people and then get like a character concept back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe
Well-
it's like, maybe there's a strong need for control there, and that's why it's not like clicking. Like, they need to go in, they need to see the menu, and then they need to pick from the menu. But the menu's no good. The menu's no good if you don't already know what you want.
There you go. Can I interest you in a fix that may piss you off?
Yeah, what's that?
How about you make generic character archetypes that fit within your game? Present that to players as an example of how your character should look like, and then let it customize them.
I guess that would be the middle ground. I offered to do pre-gen characters, which isn't exactly what you're, the same thing as what you're suggesting. But like, yeah, honestly, I could just say, here's a character. What do you want to change about him? What do you want to improve upon them? I don't know.
Here's a character outline. It's up to you to fill it.
Well, that's kind of what a character sheet is. And they already have the character sheet.
Yeah, but they already would have the basics and the things that you think should be in every character.
I'm just kind of thinking. Just
Yeah.
think thonkin', you know?
And also, don't take it personal when people like don't take the don't like finish their character or like commit to the campaign. Cause shit happens.
Well, I mean, that's
God
not...
knows that when we wanted to do your GURPS campaign, I was both sleep deprived and going through some shit, so I just kept forgetting about it.
I mean, that's not so much the part I'm worried about. Because that's the stuff that's outside of my control. The stuff that's inside of my control is the introducing new players to the game. There's gotta be some way I can guide people to understanding the idea of making a character from a concept as opposed to, you know, making a character from a list of menu items because you want to win the game. you want your character to be optimized and to master specific mechanics of the game, because that's what's fun to you, I guess. It's like fundamentally different
What's
style
fun
of
to
play.
me is that when I try something it's not impossible. I'm not saying it's gonna be guaranteed, but if I want to try something, because I don't worry too much about like, oh, what my character would absolutely do in this situation. What my character does in this situation is whatever I want him to do with the information the character has available, so as to not metagame, right?
So you're playing yourself?
No, I'm not playing myself. I'm playing how I wanna play the character.
Well,
But
okay,
I'm
so
not gonna be. I'm not gonna be like, oh, uh, my character. What would be a good example? Oh no, my character's just too shy and like really bad in terms of charisma to like try to bring up a piece of information to like, I don't know, blackmail some politician.
okay.
But it would also suck that my uh, chances are in the negatives to try that.
Are
Like,
I'm
if
I'm
I
not
came up with something clever,
right.
I
I'm
want to be able to like try it.
I'm not sure I totally understand the context here. Are you playing like a shy character or like I mean, a lot of it is a lot of the
Saying
roleplay.
that I'm saying that it sucks when a character is so useless that when you want to try something clever, the answer is just not because your character's too bad at that something to like even feasibly attempt it.
Huh. I guess I don't know why the character would be in that position in the first place, but like let's see. Character that you want, say you're playing a character who's a little more timid, a little more shy, but
Because I didn't know the system and I didn't pick abilities that would be all that helpful in other situations, I end up in a situation where the campaign is entirely social and I have an antisocial character that cannot do fuck and all.
well, okay. That sounds like a problem you would run into if you were playing a railroady type of game. Because with narrative focused campaigns, they usually run in two types of ways. There's the player driven narrative campaign, where it's a narrative campaign purely by virtue of the players are doing things and the GM is having the world react to those things. So you don't get stuck as an antisocial character. You don't get stuck in a social campaign, or you don't get stuck in a social themed, a social heavy campaign because the world wouldn't react to you being antisocial in trying to talk to you. They would just try to kill you. You know, you meet an NPC, you decide you don't like the NPC, you kill the NPC. The only reason why the guard is not going to come after you for killing the NPC is if the GM has a specific story that the GM wants to tell and robs you of your player agency in that respect by simply ignoring the natural progression of events. So I think what you're talking about there is, that's not an issue with like not knowing a system. That is an issue with your GM sort of denying you any kind of autonomy, or at the very least invalidating your decisions as a your character's decisions, and making your choices meaningless ultimately. Does that make sense?
Alright. I get it now.
What I'm saying is you played too many games with Dugby. I'm kidding. I have nothing against Dugby.
Damn.
Kidding. It's all just a big joke, okay? We have fun here.
So, howdy. Like, as expected, your take was ultimately gonna be, oh my god, Leo, you're so stupid for saying that.
Well, when you're right, you're right. Ah, shit. Maybe I didn't want to do straight lines for that. Oh well. I'm sticking with it. I can't believe Spotify stole money out of my bank account. Can you believe this shit?
On Jahim?
On... Jahim. Yes, on Jahim. Under Jahim, even.
Damn.
One regime under Jahim. On Jahim. I'm gonna think of that always now. Forever. It's your fault.
Well, you know, my role in this stream is just to be the extremely quotable guy.
He's the cog. His role in this stream.
I do be rolling.
But are you writing dirty?
I don't think I can, I mean, I guess screw it, DMCA, I am writing dirty.
That's the spirit. Listen, it's okay, Leo. They can't hurt us. They can make us wish we were never alive, but they can't hurt us.
By the way, who is they? Are you watching someone? Are you seeing someone?
I'm sorry, what?
Who is they? Are you seeing someone else?
Who
Tell me the
is
truth.
they? Hold on.
That you were mentioning that they can't hurt us, and I was very, very slowly coming up with like a um, jealous girlfriend bit.
I see. Well, why would I assure you that they couldn't hurt us if I was seeing them? Well, actually, maybe that's something
No,
I
you're
would
taking one for the
absolutely do.
team, I guess.
Maybe that would be a very good reason not to hurt us, just because they're seeing me. So you got me there. I don't really have a good explanation for that one. Oh. Leo, have you ever played Cyberpunk? The tabletop game. I guess if you've played the video game.
I'm playing
you can-
Cyberpunk Red.
Oh, okay. How do they do hacking in that game?
I still haven't gotten to that point yet, because what I'm playing is a how can I explain it? I'm playing a borderline cyber psycho that just basically he talks like he enjoys having you around, but he really, really, really hates everyone.
He's doing the
Like-
reverse tsundere.
Yeah.
Okay. But you, like, I'm guessing your character's not like a net runner or anything. You're not doing any of the...
No, I'm playing a solo, which is basically the fighter,
Oh, gotcha.
and my whole deal is that I like went way too hard on stats and melee attacks to just be the powerhouse of the team, and we have an engineer for hacking bits and and someone for healing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was talking earlier on the stream when I was all alone. About hacking and hacking mechanics specifically. Because I've never played in a campaign where like hacking has really come up. And I was thinking how I would do that in like a cyberpunk setting. Like how I would rule that out.
Have your friends do a cipher.
Yeah. The immediate suggestion was make it a mini game. But I wasn't as big of a fan as that. I was not a big fan of that solution. I think Personally, my solution would be a little more complicated, but I think way more rewarding in terms of like how it actually plays out. I was thinking like maybe have it where I would set, you could set like a target number, or if I were to do this in GURPS, I guess I would just have it be a skill, or tied to a skill at the very least. Some kind of check. But instead of like a singular roll, you would do a batch roll, or like a dice pool thing, where like based on the number of successes, you can take control of more things or gather more information on whatever you're hacking. So if you were hacking into somebody's computer and you roll against your skill or whatever, and you get maybe 2 out of 3 successes or 2 out of 5 successes or something like that. You roll 5 times, you get you succeed twice on the roll. So you get access to like 2 items from the computer, and that's all you can do with it. Or you're hacking a security system and you get like 3 successes, so you get access to locks on doors and security cameras and maybe like a security turret or something. And then that way, you get to hack into things, but in like a more tactical sense, where you have to pick and choose based on how many successes you get, what you can hack, and then what you hack you can use in different ways to sort of assist your teammates or something to that effect. Instead of just having like this one long mini game that takes up a bunch of time. I guess if you're having everyone do the cipher, then it's not like excluding anybody, but then does it really make sense to have everyone do the cipher? There's only one person doing the hacking, doing the system hacking. But I don't know. That was just my thought on it.
Okay.
Okay. I think the rest of that is just gonna have to be done in Screen Towns. Should probably put faces on them. That might be good. Sunset time. Wow, thanks. Thanks, Google. Trying to look up a thing and it's fucking auto-correcting to a completely different word.
Gotta love the AI doing a hallucinate.
The AI doing a hallucinate.
Yeah.
I guess that is a way of putting it. So I guess all of these would constitute Western hemlocks. I don't even need to draw beyond that. So what are you up to, Leo? What's happening?
Slaying the spire.
What is slaying the spire? That sounds like a euphemism. Which character are you running?
Ironclad.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh no, I felt like bunking something or someone.
Bonk. Yeah, so riled up by our spirited conversation. I just needed to beat the shit out of something.
Oh yeah, totally. You have no idea how
This just makes me so fucking angry.
on God.
It's cool. I need to get back into Slay the Spire. I need to actually beat that game.
Do you need to or do you want to?
I don't know anymore. Video games are such an enigma to me. I don't know how the youths play them anymore. I used to understand. I used to be a certified understander. Now I'm washed. I'm out of the loop.
Damn. You're so real for them.
He's out of touch. I'm out of time. Ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba, da. This is a crazy clashing with the music that I have up. But I'd like to see them try copywriting that. Technically, because I'm the one singing it, that makes it transformative. Meaning it's fair use. So,
Yeah.
they couldn't legally copyright strike me for it. But that's never stopped them. At least as far as I know.
I mean, I've heard horror stories that basically, like, anyone that owns a company can, like, go into has like access to a panel to like just copyright claim videos on nonsense and like
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of people do them.
I don't know if this is how it still works, but they had a system called Content ID. And effectively, if you if you own something, or well, the idea for the system was if you own something and you didn't want other people using it, you could enter it into the copyright ID system. And then YouTube would automatically flag videos with that thing in it, under, I guess, under your ownership. But there were never any good checks in place to determine whether or not, to prove whether or not somebody owned a thing that they were putting into Content ID. So a bunch of people just abused the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I remember a guy I really liked watching on YouTube. He would make a bunch of music from Sony Acid samples, and then somebody just dumped an entire Sony Acid proprietary library of sounds and samples into the copyright ID system. The copyright ID system. Claimed it was theirs, and then copyright striked every single video that had all of that in there. And there was nothing anybody could do about it.
Because there's no justice in the world.
Well, that, and it was just a poorly designed system. But yeah, I don't know if that's still around. I don't know if they ever rectified that issue. I would hope they would get on that quickly, but that was an issue for years. So I would not be surprised if it was still in place now. Oh, AC came on. That is nice though. The cool air. I've been in need for too long. Cool air. So what's next for you, Leo, after the door salesman thing?
Well, the next semester's coming up. Hell, tomorrow I gotta go do the thingy for the sign-ups.
Oh yeah. What were you studying again? Is it just like English, or was there other stuff?
Teaching English second language.
Gotcha.
That's the
technical
term
term
for it. Yeah.
Right on.
Oh no, teaching is fun.
Well,
But
I'm
I
glad
mainly
you
wanna
think so.
but I mainly wanna learn the teaching method to apply it to a side hustle.
Sure. Yeah. Not looking to work for the state? Unbelievable.
And get paid like what, $3 a month? Not thank you.
That's $3 more than you're getting now.
That is true. But nah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think teaching is fun. I know a lot of people who went into education and then realized, oh, I don't actually want to teach at all.
It's all about who you want to teach at the end of the day.
My old friend
So,
adding too much detail to something for way too long.
yeah.
Yeah.
That could be you, yeah.
Oh, hey, at the very least, my wrist hasn't started randomly hurting an hour into the stream. That sucked.
Yeah. That would suck.
Yeah, just another day in my
For example, I was
stupid
doing the
chains.
whole door salesman thing, and my knee is just unhappy with me. It's
Damn.
not hurting bad, it's just sore. You get me?
Yeah. I think I got past it. I'm all better now, but definitely when I started taking walks on my lunch breaks, oh man, my feet would kill me for the rest of the day. Just be like, yep, I did it to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, taking the walks during my lunch breaks has really helped with a few things. Definitely my mood has been a lot better coming home from work. You know, I'm less. It's funny. I do more. You know, I spend like an hour doing that walk, but I come home and I'm less tired as a result when I get back. So that's a huge plus.
I mean, there's just something weird about your body being like, "Oh, we're in energy saving mode. Cool. I'm gonna give you more tired chemicals so that you don't want to spend any energy, so that we get fat for the winter." And it's like, motherfucker, we are no longer starving for the winter. I don't give a shit. I want to burn this fat.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I haven't been storing that much fat, so.
That's cool.
That's not to say I haven't been storing no fat, but I mean, I'm still pretty skinny, and I'm still gonna feel it during the winter. Gotta love them Asian jeans.
Yeah. What brand?
Levi's.
Levi's Asian? Damn.
No, but
I
they're
guess
one
they're
of
all
the
made in
few.
China.
True. They're one of those few brands that carry like the slimmer sizes. So I don't have to suffer the indignity of shopping for children's jeans. Because my waist is so tiny. Compared to the
Damn.
average American.
I see. Twink.
Just mutter under your breath. Wink.
With disdain in my voice.
Listen, you're just mad that I can do something with my guitar and hands that you'll never be able to accomplish in your entire life. So yeah, you're gay.
You know what we should play?
Uh-oh, what should we play?
We need to play House of the Dead Overkill.
House of the Dead is like that arcade game, right?
Yeah, with the zombies and stuff. It's a real shooter.
That does kind of sound like fun.
Yeah. And Overkill is what if House of the Dead was a Tarantino movie?
Fascinating.
Well, it's not as refined, say, as a Tarantino movie, but it's fun. It's fun. I wish I could tell you more without spoiling.
It has its charm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Some of these trees look like they're leaning. But oh well. That's just how it's gonna have to be. Because I'm not going back and redrawing these. No sir. Gotta keep moving. So I took Thursday and Friday off. Took some vacation time. What I wanted to do was go out west and look at some potential apartments. But fortunately there were too many schedule conflicts, so I won't be able to do that. What I will be able to do, however, is stream Thursday night, because I'll have everything I'll need prepped by then, because I'll have the entire day to do it. In theory.
Hooray. In theory.
Assuming I don't just completely slack off because it's my day off. Which I've been prone to do.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta slack off
You
all
say
day so that
sometimes
you don't.
my body
Yeah.
says every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very, very lazy person.
Well, what helps for me is the idea that if I don't keep moving forward, I'm gonna have a situation like earlier this year, and my life's gonna fall apart all around me, and yada yada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
do not
turns out that
have
that adversity is the best cure for slacking off.
true. I do not have as strong a motivator as that. I don't even think it's a problem with motivation. It's like a problem with discipline is probably the best way to put it.
You do not simply grasp the consequences of slacking off.
Sooner or later I will grasp the consequences of slacking off. The question is, will I grasp the willpower necessary to train myself to never slack off again?
We be slacking.
Too much slack. This rope will not be pulled taut. There is too much slack. Hello. Stretch real quick. Ooh.
Posture check.
My posture is immaculate. Ugh. I won't worry about that. We don't need to draw that many trees. We just need to draw enough trees that I block out the correct portions, and so everything will look, the composition will look appealing, pleasing to the eye at a glance. Very important.
Alright then.
Alright. And that implies that those connect. Get 2 more trees here.
I know we're only like 30 minutes before we end session. Not session. Stream. But I really gotta go to sleep right now.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, Leo. Always a pleasure.
Always
to
a
have you.
pleasure. Alright. Be seeing ya.
Have a good one.
Bye.
It's just me. It's just me again. But yeah, I think that does enough for us. I'm gonna block out that section. Let's go ahead and check without the sketch layer. Yeah, that does a decent job. A glance. So let's go ahead and get this sun in here. There we go. The silhouette of the cloud. I don't want it to go too far, but that's good enough. Cool. Too cool. Alright, now I gotta figure out how I want to do this shading. Because I'm gonna want to shade these trees up here and then these trees down here. So let's go ahead and a little more. One more variation, make the tree look more natural as it gets closer to the camera. Because we're doing level of detail. It gets muddied here by the shadow. Very nice. I'll make sure these inks are inking. And then this is gonna probably come up about, yeah, about here. So the rest of that's gonna be encased in shadow. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Just black out that whole thing, why don't I? Whew, I'm running out of steam, guys. Slowly running out of steam. Okay, I can't merge these layers for some reason. Oh, because the opacity is down. There. Alright. The head and... So I don't need that. I think I need to worry too much about that. Ah! Didn't realize I needed to worry about that, though. Okay. That should do it. Yeah. Start our hatching. Like that. It's gonna get all mucked up. Good. I don't know if going gritty was the right thing to do here. I think overall it's just kind of look good like this. So I've been content with the gritty style for the time being anyway. Beautiful. Okay. Spot for the hatching here. Yeah, okay. I can live with this transition. Kind of goes from like that very if I just left it like that. It might look a little strange, but I think it works for what I'm going for. And then here I do want to block out some shadows. some shadows on the tree. Get some gradual transitions in here, because these are gonna look really cool, I think. Meshes with the other side here, but alright. Yeah, okay, that does look kind of sick. Like how that's turning out. And then this is just gonna kind of yeah. Takes a while to do, but I think this is really coming together here. Keep going. Just gotta keep trucking along. Make sure those lines are all thickened up. Get that paint bucket going. Nice. Alright. that. Ah. Sorry I haven't been more talkative. I've just kind of like focused in on this. Probably a bit of a long silence there. But yeah. Having a bit of a spirited debate with Leo on this topic, but you know, it's one of those things that it's a problem that I need to find a real solution to. I guess I could try the thing Leo recommended, where I introduce new players by giving them example characters and then letting them retool those example characters and excuse me, reconfigure them, I guess. Let them customize to their specifications. But I think ultimately where the boons lie in a setting agnostic or I guess a universal system. The benefits, the key to really unlocking that system is to be able to come up from imagination with a character. So that's kind of difficult. It's kind of difficult to explain that to people, but even more so, it's difficult to compromise on that. Because once you do, then the expectation is you're going to continue to compromise on that. You know, every new campaign there's going to be an expectation from the players that you're going to show them how to make the character every time. You know, it's like the idea is to train the other players into, I guess the best way to put it would be to train the other players into the mindset necessary to make that character. It may require some unlearning of just ways of doing things so embedded by all the standard role-playing practices. Because games like D&D kind of just beat that out of you. You know, they say, okay, make a character. Here's the purview under which you can make a character. Well, you know, I want to play a wizard that imbues, you know, a sword with spells that he then like casts by using a sword. And D&D's like, okay, that's a cool idea, but actually you can't do that. Closest thing you're gonna get is Hexblade Warlock. And then you play the Hexblade Warlock. Which, I mean, you get hooked on the Hexblade Warlock because the game The game rewards you for playing that kind of optimized build. But what you're not doing is playing a wizard that imbues his spells on a sword and then casts said spells by swinging the sword. So ugh, my voice keeps cracking. The concept dies and has to be reborn as whatever the game tells you. And then from there, the mechanics follow. Gotta fit into those mechanics. At the end of the day, if it doesn't, then, you know, sucks to suck. Gotta try something else with your character. So people get conditioned very quickly by that. To think, okay, well, the game is going to tell me what kind of character I can make. I just need to work within the options given to me, and maybe I can get creative in it. And I guess there's something to be said there about system mastery and really getting to know the mechanics of a system before you're able to break them. But the point of systems like GURPS is not to make an optimized build, it's to make a character. You know, characters have flaws, they have room to grow and advance, and not in like a linear, you level up, now you get this, and this fashion, but in a, okay, I've used, you know, my character is picked like 50 locks. Surely he has gotten better at picking locks by now, kind of deal. So it's trying to facilitate a much more immersive style of play, and D&D does not. And so people who are used to D&D are not gonna really understand it because they've been conditioned to play the game a certain way. And that is really what I'm trying to get away from. But, you know, unless the player is new to tabletop RPGs altogether, I really don't know how to get that across, how to get the concepts across. Because it's easier when you've never played a tabletop game before and you have no expectations going into it. You have no idea how any of it works, and so you know, when you're just told, there's no pre-installed constraints on your imagination in that case. So you're told to come up with a character, and you immediately have a character in mind, you just don't know how to put it together, you know, how anything works. So you get to come up with this character idea, and you tell the GM, hey, here's my $1 million character idea. And the GM says, oh, okay, I can put that right together. And it's more about telling that story than it is about beating the monsters real good, or, you know, stuff like that. So you want to make a character, not a vehicle for winning the game. And that's just kind of hard to get across to people who play games like D&D, because they've been conditioned against that. And I imagine new players probably don't have that problem as much, because, you know, the experience is new. Even if they played video games and stuff like that before, the experience is still new. So everything's fresh, so they'll be open to new ideas, I guess. Not that I think people who started with D&D are just lost causes, but it's like it's so deeply ingrained in them by the point that I get to them that it's almost like they're predisposed to disliking the system because it doesn't guide them enough, doesn't tell them where they need to go. There's too much control in their hands, and some people, they don't know what to do with that. They don't know where to go with that. But yeah, hopefully hopefully I will be inspired to put together a video about this one day. And then I don't have to litigate it on stream all the time. Litigate it? I don't think that's the right word. But I don't have to bring it up on stream and argue about it every single time. I can't really help it though. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm going to talk about on stream. It's just kind of how I feel. Kind of how I feel, definitely how I am. Just personality speaking. Let's see. I don't know. Too many marks that can... There we go. Okay. Okay. Hooey. Well, it looks like I still got a bit of inking left ahead of me. Specifically with this forest scene. But I am getting kind of tired. I should turn in soon. Poor Beard. So... Wow, what a brilliant time for that to come up in the in the audio. You guys like that? That was totally planned. 100%. But yeah, we got 5 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up stream. Mainly because I'm feeling a little tired, feeling a little exhausted. But I think we did good. I think we had a productive stream. Had a good time. Thank you to Startoons for hopping in here. Didn't converse long, but always happy to see a new face. Always cool to see who's chatted up with some new people. That being said, I will be...
Just throw your life away like it was nothing.
I'm not going here to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
I will be streaming again tomorrow. So if you guys would be so inclined to join me then, same time as this stream, just me drawing, shooting the shit, talking, as I do. So if you like listening to me talk, and you're interested in interacting, interested in chatting it up, I'll be here tomorrow, and the day after, and then maybe Saturday. Definitely won't be Friday. Got stuff going on Friday. But yeah, maybe Saturday, depends on how other things go. But definitely tomorrow we'll be doing more drawing and that kind of stuff, and then Thursday is game night. And game night will be fun. Believe if Mr. Filbert shows up, I will be learning how to play Kingdom Death and then probably failing miserably at it. So that's exciting. And then if not, I'll just find something else to do. I don't know. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Okay, this needs to be... because it's closer, so the shadow's gonna be a little less pronounced on that side. And then I'll do those tomorrow. Well, yep. It's 11 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Thank you to all my viewers, past, present, and future. Yeah, stream again. Draw stream returns tomorrow night, and then after that it's game night. And we'll see from there. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully I wasn't too quiet this stream. There were some spots of silence, but you know, that is just how I am sometimes. Especially when it's just me on my lonesome. Glad I got to see Leo though. That was very nice. Always happy to see Leo. But yeah. Go ahead and set this up. Going off air. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.